Welcome, and thank you for listening to today's episode of Medical Device Global Market Access by Pure Global, your host here. Today we are diving into a significant development from the US Food and Drug Administration that impacts the rapidly evolving field of artificial intelligence in medical imaging. On June 17, 2026, the FDA issued a final order establishing a new device classification for radiological machine learning-based quantitative imaging software with a predetermined change control plan. This order classifies the device type into Class 2, subject to special controls, creating a more predictable and streamlined regulatory pathway for manufacturers. This new classification is a pivotal moment for AI and machine learning medical device developers. Previously, software of this nature often navigated the more complex de novo classification process, or even potentially a pre-market approval (PMA) pathway, depending on its risk profile and novelty. By establishing a dedicated Class 2 category, the FDA is acknowledging the unique, iterative nature of machine learning algorithms. The cornerstone of this new rule is the inclusion of a Predetermined Change Control Plan, or PCCP. A PCCP is a plan that manufacturers submit as part of their 510(k) pre-market notification. It describes the specific, planned modifications to the device, such as algorithm updates or changes to the input data, and the detailed methodology the company will use to validate these changes internally, without needing to submit a new 510(k) for every single update. This is a game changer for agility and innovation. Machine learning models thrive on continuous improvement, and the PCCP framework allows manufacturers to implement validated updates more efficiently, as long as those updates fall within the scope of the FDA-authorized plan. The device type is specifically defined as software that processes medical images to provide quantitative data, such as measuring tumor volume from a CT scan or assessing bone density from an X-ray. It is intended to assist healthcare professionals and is not a replacement for their professional judgment. The key is that the software's change control is pre-specified and managed through the PCCP. To balance this newfound flexibility, the FDA has established a set of special controls that manufacturers must adhere to. These are mandatory requirements that provide a reasonable assurance of the device's safety and effectiveness. The special controls include several key areas. First, comprehensive software verification, validation, and hazard analysis must be performed. Second, the PCCP itself has stringent content requirements, including a clear description of the scope of permitted modifications and robust protocols for change validation. Third, labeling must be incredibly detailed. It needs to include a summary of the algorithm's performance data, its limitations, the type of data it was trained and tested on, and clear instructions for use. Finally, manufacturers must implement robust cybersecurity measures to ensure device integrity and protect patient data. So, what practical actions should regulatory and quality teams be considering right now? First, if your company is developing AI-based quantitative imaging software, you must immediately evaluate if it fits this new classification. Aligning with this pathway could significantly simplify your regulatory strategy and timeline. Second, begin developing a comprehensive PCCP framework. This is not just a submission document. It should be deeply integrated into your quality management system. Define your processes for managing, documenting, and validating algorithm changes according to the principles outlined in the FDA's final order. Third, conduct a gap analysis of your technical documentation against the new special controls. Pay special attention to your software validation evidence and labeling to ensure they meet the heightened requirements for transparency and performance reporting. This new classification by the FDA represents a major step forward in regulating AI medical devices, offering a clear pathway that encourages both innovation and safety. By understanding the requirements for the device classification, the special controls, and the critical role of the Predetermined Change Control Plan, manufacturers can better navigate the regulatory landscape and bring advanced imaging tools to market more effectively. If your team needs assistance in developing a regulatory strategy for AI software, creating a robust PCCP, or preparing a 510(k) submission under this new classification, please check out Pure Global. We specialize in global market access and can help you navigate complex regulatory requirements. For free resources, including AI-powered regulatory tools and a global device database, check the description for a link. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.